Politicians should stop raising the minimum wage. Governments across the world like increasing the minimum wage. It wins votes, it fights inequality, and it requires little public spending. But after a decade of rises, more economists are warning about the nasty side effects of setting the minimum wage too high. Minimum wages became popular after a series of studies from the 1990s on struggled to find any negative impact on jobs. But today's skeptics argue that the costs of rising wages are delayed, or hard to spot. The big danger is that governments have become overconfident about the minimum wage. For example, in 2015 and 2016, Seattle raised its minimum wage sharply. A study published in 2022 found that these increases led to a fall in workers' hours. And while most kept their jobs, the hiring of low-wage workers slowed noticeably. Big minimum wage increases seem to have other unintended consequences too. Economists have recently found evidence that they lead employers to make working hours less predictable and reduce investment. They've even been linked to a rise in workplace accidents. A Chinese study theorizes this is because employers push their staff harder when they have to pay them more. In other words, wages rise, but jobs get worse. If you have no minimum wage at all, setting a modest pay floor can actually create jobs by offsetting the bargaining power of big employers who would otherwise keep their hiring down to suppress pay. Governments, encouraged by this, might try to raise wages even more. But there's a limit. As workers become more expensive, employers have more incentive to cut jobs altogether. Minimum wages can be transformative. In Mexico, income poverty fell from 50 to 35% between 2018 and 2024 as its minimum wage shot up. That's a whopping 15.8 million people out of poverty. But raising the minimum wage is a clumsy and inefficient way to tackle low living standards. Many minimum wage workers live in middle or high-earning households. They might be their family's second earner, or a rich kid with a summer job. Higher wages also lead businesses to increase prices, which hits the poorest consumers hardest. There are better ways to help low earners. In-work tax credits can help the poor while distorting the economy less, especially if they're financed with carefully designed taxes, such as VAT. Ultimately, minimum wage increases may be popular with the public, but they're just too blunt a tool to count on as the government's main way of redistributing income. After years of incautious rises in the minimum wage, the responsible option is not to push them higher still, it's to stop.